Good morning, gorgeous. How are you ladies doing this morning? I hope you're doing fabulous. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Daff, and today we're talking about femininity, my favorite topic. We're specifically talking today about feminine grace, cultivating the graceful feminine you, and what that really means, how to show up as your beautiful feminine self, how to enjoy this birthright of femininity that you have to be able to love being a woman, love being feminine, show up authentically, and how you can allow your feminine aroma to impact the lives of those around you for the better. So I'm excited. I want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, get something to drink, get something to write with, and let's talk about this. One thing that's important to me is mental health. And that's why I trained and worked as a psychologist for over a decade. I get many emails and DMs from many ladies about mental health issues, and that's why I want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. With over 30,000 licensed therapists, BetterHelp is digitally accessible to you in the most convenient and affordable manner. These online therapy sessions help an individual or a couple to boost their mental health through many different approaches and treatments. For BetterHelp, anyone who is struggling with life challenges can get help from them anytime and anywhere, be it via phone call, text, or video session. All you need to do is to get started. Did you know that with BetterHelp, you can switch between therapists based on your preferences as well with no extra charge? Visit their website at betterhelp.com/Dr. Michelle to get started. Answer some basic questions based on your personal information, needs, and preferences, and you're good to go. With BetterHelp, it's all about convenience, affordability, effectiveness, and above all, professionalism. BetterHelp is offering you 10% off of your first month session at betterhelp.com/Dr. Michelle, as provided in the description below. Once again, that's betterhelp.com/Dr. Michelle. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. What is feminine grace? Feminine grace is a demeanor. It's a presentation. It's the way that you cultivate and show up in your femininity. Feminine grace is your presentation of your womanhood to the world, weaved into your behavior. Now, as a feminine woman, as a woman that shows up in this world authentically, one of the most important things is that you truly love being a woman. This is a cornerstone of being able to really show feminine grace. You love femininity. You love the fact that you get to be a woman, that God formed you as a woman, and you are taking that in and allowing other people to experience the beautiful parts of womanhood. And if you're someone who struggles with loving the fact that you're a woman, this is going to stop you from being able to really walk in your feminine grace. And this will show up in all of your relationships, in dating, in your friendships with your girlfriends, in your family relationships, and even at work. If you're not able to love the skin that you're in and show up as a feminine woman. Now, the beautiful thing about having feminine grace, and we're going to talk today about 3 specific areas of feminine grace that I really want you to think about and start practicing and owning. But one of the most important things is being able to have feminine confidence. Confidence in your womanhood, in your femininity, regardless of whether or not you fit the typical beauty standards, regardless of what other people say you should or should not do, and loving the woman that you are. When a woman loves herself in her feminine nature, she is confident about her feminine appearance. This means that you're the kind of woman who cares about the way she looks, so you put yourself together every day. Now, it doesn't mean you have to look like a supermodel every day, but everyone who knows you knows that you care about your appearance. You will be put together enough to be presentable for whatever the day may hold, right? So you are not ashamed of your feminine appearance. You're not ashamed that your hair is neat, that your nails are done, that you smell good, that you look fresh. You're happy about it. And other people may give you dirty looks or may talk about you or may try to make fun of you because of the fact that you do care about the way you show up. That doesn't bother you at all. You embrace your feminine appearance. You embrace wearing dresses and skirts, wearing heels or flats if you like. You embrace changing your hairstyle. And again, speaking to the idea of beauty standards and that kind of thing, something that is so important about having feminine grace is not caring about the opinions of other people with regard to your feminine presentation. There are so many different ways that a woman can look feminine. And this can be from a different culture. Like some cultures have different items that they wear that just make a woman look so beautiful and feminine. That may be the complete opposite of what someone in America would say looks beautiful and feminine. Maybe in America, dull colors, or I'm calling them dull colors, but neutral colors, right, may look the most prissy and feminine. Whereas in South Africa, bright, bold colors help you look beautiful and feminine. And wearing those colors would make you look super drab. There's no right or wrong. It's about owning what you believe looks the most beautiful and feminine on you. And a lot of women, I shouldn't even say people, a lot of women oftentimes will criticize other women for not being what they want them to be. And this happens in all cultures and communities, but being a woman of color, being a Black woman, African American woman, I see this the most in my culture in terms of women monitoring other women in terms of how they wear their hair, how they do their makeup, what kind of things they put on their eyelashes or don't put on their eyelashes, or, how they should wear their earrings. And just every little detail about their face and their body is so monitored. So as a woman who loves her femininity, you're okay saying, you know what, today I'm going to wear my hair in an afro, but tomorrow I may wear a long weave that goes all the way down to my hips. And I'm fine with that. And if someone online says, I think you look better with your natural hair, you look much more Afrocentric and less European. That's European femininity. Well, when people are doing all that stuff, just trying to make you something you are not, it doesn't bother you. You march to your own drum in terms of how you want to show up. And if you change your mind, that's your choice, and it's not influenced by what other people want to put on you today. So this is so important because as a woman, especially if you're still learning about womanhood and you're learning about femininity, people will try to force you to be a certain way. And that is completely wrong and completely out of line for another person to try to force the ideal standards of beauty on you when we're all so different and we're all so beautiful in different ways. So experiment. Feminine women who enjoy being feminine, experiment with haircuts, hairstyles, different looks, different makeup looks. Maybe one day you're doing a no makeup look and the next day you have on a full beat face. That's your choice. And it's something to fully love about being a woman, that you get to do that. You get to change your style without having to explain it to anyone else. And this also comes into play if you're someone who's maybe like a larger woman or a taller woman or a woman who in whatever culture maybe has deeper, more rich colored skin. Maybe other people may see that as a negative thing, but you don't. I love when I see feminine women who are like maybe plus size women who take good care of themselves, are always trying to be as healthy as they can be. They're really trying and they love their bodies. They love themselves. They're respectful of their body. So they're not going to squeeze into things that they know they should not wear in a sense that it makes them look unfeminine. It makes them look, they lose that modesty, that beautiful sex appeal when they dress like that. So they don't want to just do whatever just to prove a point. They actually love themselves and love the way that they look, and they dress themselves accordingly like anyone else should. And I think it's the most beautiful thing. If you're someone who struggles with embracing who they are because certain things about you don't line up with beauty standards, then this is a great time to start thinking about what makes you unique, because that's what matters. That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you special. And that comes from the inside. It radiates out. But that's another conversation for another day. We're talking about feminine grace and how that weaves into every aspect of your life. Feminine grace is about the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, being able to love your womanhood. So if you walk with a little feminine shimmy, shimmy, And I'm not saying that you're dramatic or you're overboard, but you embrace your womanly walk, your womanly curves. You walk in heels if you want to wear high heels, and you learn how to wear high heels because that's okay. You're a woman, and it's okay to wear high heels if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, then you should, and you shouldn't reject it. So it's all about embracing. It's all about saying, this is for me. This is mine. I love it, versus saying, ew, I don't want to be a girly girl. I don't want to wear pink. I don't want to wear heels, and pushing away all of the beautiful things that make us so different than men. Feminine grace also shows up in the way that you speak and the way that you carry yourself. When you're walking down the street, the way that you look and acknowledge people and smile at people, the way that you use language, your voice. As a woman, we are so beautiful and unique, and we all have beautiful voices. Now, you may think, oh, my voice is not beautiful. Well, your voice probably is beautiful, but you haven't learned how to hone into your true voice. And I have a video all about feminine voice that I would love for you to watch, because that goes into detail about your voice. But your voice is different than the voice of a man. Even if it's deep, it's still different than the voice of a man. The mechanics of our voices as women are different than the voice of a man. And people who want to sound more like a woman have to take medications and things to alter the sound, the tone, the sound of their voice, because our voices are night and day. You don't sound like a man, even if you think you do. And learning how to tweak your voice, even if you think your voice is not pretty, okay, well then try to tweak it a little bit so that when you want to sound feminine, when you're laid up with your boo and you're having a date night and you want to just kind of like lean over and say something, that you feel like you can modify your voice to sound a little bit more feminine. That's okay to do. I mean, that's part of being a woman, being able to have fun, being able to play, being able to enjoy the flexibility that we have. So carrying yourself as a beautiful, confident, feminine woman and staying away from the stereotypes that people will try to box you in with will help you to be able to exude feminine grace, to be able to love change, to be able to go with the flow, and to be able to show up looking like a woman. Looking like a woman. I want to stress this because so many women do not look like ladies. We don't look put together. We don't look like we have self-respect for the things that we put on our bodies. We don't speak with self-respect or respect for other people. So many of us have lost that touch of ladylike behavior. And it is something that I'm so grateful we are slowly bringing back. We're slowly showcasing how important it is and what it does for yourself and for other people. And if you're a lady who is struggling with dating, feminine grace will change everything, because so many women do not embody feminine grace. When you do, you stand out. You stand out. Men notice you. Men appreciate it. And men comment on it because it's something that's so beautiful to them. It is a complete opposite of the way that they are, and it attracts them to you. So having feminine grace in your appearance can completely change the way that you experience life. Another aspect of feminine grace that is so important, my love, is leaving people better than you found them. This is one of those sparkly qualities about true feminine women. Women who love being a woman and embrace their femininity. They are so happy to be in the presence of other people and leave them better than they found them. Whether it's a smile, whether it's a reassuring statement, whether it's listening to a person who is in need, whether it's just giving a person information. Ooh, girl, you smell so good. Where did you get your fragrance? What are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing Fine Forever. Whatever it is, it's a conversation that you probably have over and over and over, because as you walk down the street, people are probably always asking questions about your hair, your makeup, your shoes, your perfume, because you radiate femininity. And this is one of the things that feminine women experience on a daily basis. So this is an important quality of having feminine grace, is allowing people to experience you in a beautiful way, where once they leave your presence, they feel good. People love being around a person who allows them to feel good. Everyone will want to be around you. And it makes it very difficult for people not to like you. And of course, they have a right not to like you, but it does make it difficult because you genuinely are not out to hurt anyone. You genuinely see people for who they are and you show love. And even if you don't leave a person better than you found them in a conversation, maybe you're dealing with someone who has a bad attitude or who's talking down to you or trying to hurt you, you still leave them better by praying for them. By after that conversation, you spending time with God and you praying for that person and realizing that people who act that way have something wrong with them. There's something they're happening in their life. There's something that's going on with their mental state. Like maybe they have some kind of chemical imbalance. Maybe they just had a really bad day. But whatever it is, there's something going on with that person. Something is wrong. And instead of lashing out at them and trying to one-up them or trying to give them a piece of your mind, that feminine grace says, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. And in your personal time, praying for that. And in your personal time, praying for that person and praying that God gives them grace and peace and helps them with whatever they're going through. And when you do that, your relationships will flourish. You'll see people who don't normally say anything to you or they give you a dirty look. You'll see that all like soften. Maybe they'll completely avoid you, or maybe they'll want to say something negative to you, but they won't. But spiritually, something will happen. Something happens when you pray for people, especially when you pray for people who don't like you, when you pray for your enemies or people who have done something to you. There's something that happens spiritually, and it always comes back to bless you. Some other beautiful characteristics of having feminine grace is just being tactful, knowing when to speak and when to shut up. Knowing when to stop talking, knowing when to say something and when something is completely inappropriate, when something is none of your business, being able to back out of conversations, but saying it in a way that's just not jarring, that's, just kind of easy breezy. Like, I don't really want to talk about her. We don't really know what she's going through. Let's kind of just leave that alone. And just saying it with ease, and letting it be, letting it go, letting it flow. Not thinking, oh, this person is such a gossiper, like remind me to never hang out with her again. Learning how to be well assuming of people and not just jumping to conclusions about why people do certain things and judging people unfairly. Okay, this is a beautiful aspect of feminine grace. Being well assuming of others is one of the most beautiful qualities. Not just thinking that everyone is a nasty person because they made a mistake. Being able to see past that and to give people the benefit of the doubt not always assuming the worst about people, and also just not being judgmental with people. If the person has different views than you, or maybe you're watching a YouTube video and you think this girl has on way too much makeup, or her nails are ridiculously long, or just something that you wouldn't normally do. Not being in a situation where you're going to say, let me go ahead and write this comment and tell this girl, you have on too much makeup. Like, no, like that is not exuding feminine grace. That's actually the opposite of really being a feminine woman. Like, you're not having that spirit of community, that spirit of love and connection, or you're actually using words to potentially hurt someone's feelings and tear someone down and not leave them better than you found them. So feminine women are, so graceful when they're under someone's comments and they're giving positive feedback, even if the person's being hard on themselves, or even if the person didn't get it right, they're still positive, they're encouraging, they're loving and uplifting. And these qualities, my love, are so beautiful on you. This is what makes you so feminine. A lot of men will watch stuff and interact with people and not say a single thing. They won't leave a single comment, say thank you, say this was such a great video. A lot of times they won't do that. But women, that's what makes us so special. We're willing to be able to just show love genuinely without expectation, just wanting to pour into someone else for the beauty of it. And that, my love, is such a beautiful quality that I hope that you always keep. And the final quality that I want to leave you with today about cultivating feminine grace and really living and loving being a feminine woman is loving masculine men and appreciating masculine men. Loving masculine men unashamedly is one of the most important qualities of having feminine grace. Again, as a feminine woman, you are not trying to prove anything to anyone. The fact that you love men is a beautiful thing. Being a feminine woman is the complete polar opposite of being a masculine man. The fact that you are attracted to and desire having someone who is completely different than you in your life is a perfectly wonderful thing. And in this culture specifically, women can oftentimes be ridiculed for loving men, for actually having nothing like ridiculously negative to say about men. Of course, like, we have things that are different about men, or, men can irritate us here and there, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about women who are constantly talking down about men, saying that they don't need a man, just making men seem like they're all dogs, they're all useless, and not having space in their life for a man. Feminine women who cultivate feminine grace, they love men. They love having a male partner. They love having a male counterpart. They love men giving to them. They receive from men with love, with gratitude. And men love that. Men love giving to feminine women. Men cannot stop giving to feminine women because they get so much out of that. They get so much back from that. And as a feminine woman, especially if you're in a relationship or a marriage, showing that you love your husband, love your partner so much is a beautiful thing. Appreciating him when he does things for you, when he does the tiniest things, or maybe he's not doing something for you, but just appreciating certain qualities about him, especially the things that are different than you, without judging him and just accepting him, is a beautiful feminine quality. Because the thing is, men want to be accepted. We all want to be accepted. But when we have such a stark difference, when we're so different than a person, oftentimes we look at their differences as a negative thing. We look at it and we say like, oh, well, they don't think like me, therefore they're wrong. And so sometimes we will try to force our opinion, or we won't have a teachable spirit, a teachable attitude, because we think that we're better, we're right, we're smarter. And when you're living in your feminine grace, you don't care. You don't care. It's like, this person is different. That's who they are. Or this person has a very unique, quirky personality. That's who they are. I'm not going to try to change him. I'm either going to love him or I'm not going to love him. And I'm just going to be with someone else. But I'm not going to be with him and not love him. I'm not going to be with him and not accept him. That's crazy. That's toxic. When you are with someone, you've decided it's your choice to be with this person. You're either going to accept them or you're going to completely just reject them completely, be with someone else. But you're not. But as a feminine woman, you don't stay with a man just to complain about him and make him feel unneeded and unappreciated. It's your decision to be with this person. So love on them. Let them know how much you love them. Feminine women love romance. They love love. They're not ashamed to tell people that. They're not ashamed to talk about it. They're not ashamed to plan out a loving, beautiful, romantic future for themselves. They don't allow people to say things or watch videos and posts that talk about how you can't have this. You can't have your dream life. You can't have your dream man. Stop living a fantasy. Life isn't a fairy tale. I mean, there's a lot out there that is just like dream crushers, right? It's okay to dream. It's okay to fantasize. It's okay to want more than you have. And I personally am living proof that that works. That works. When you have that connected to God, the one who can provide all of that to you, well, why not? Why not? And if it's something is not for you, it's not for you. But to tell yourself that this isn't real, people don't really have this is not for everyone, so therefore it's probably not for me, that's a serious downer. And as a feminine woman who loves romance, I love romance. I love men. I love the differences between men and women. I love it's a dance. It's always a dance. My husband is a complete opposite of me in every way. And yes, it can be very frustrating sometimes, but when it's not frustrating, it's the most beautiful thing, because just walking past him, the way he walks, the way I walk, night and day, the way we look, the way we move, it's a dance. It's a constant dance. And it's so beautiful. Why would I want to be like him? Why would I make fun of him for being like him? That's what makes him special. And as a feminine woman, telling men that they're smart, that they're strong, that they're powerful, letting a man know that he can do it, that you believe in him, that he got this, like giving him what he needs, that fuel that he needs, that feminine energy that he needs to inspire him is everything to a man. It's everything to a man. And it helps you too. It helps you to feel more feminine. So as someone who is trying to cultivate feminine grace, allowing yourself to take off that armor that you've put on yourself because of things that maybe have happened to you. Maybe you were not taught the appropriate kinds of ways to date or the right men to seek. And so you did make a lot of mistakes because, sweetheart, a lot of us have made mistakes. And here's the thing. So many times we become bitter about certain things, or we have a really negative attitude over a situation. But in every situation, we had a role, a tiny role. Now, I'm not talking about a situation where you were harmed or taken advantage of in a way your innocence, was taken away, you were a child or something. I'm talking about as an adult in dating. As an adult in dating, if something happened, you did have a part to play. Maybe you didn't know something. Maybe you did something. Maybe you chose wrong. But there's always a lesson for you to learn. And that helps to empower you to know that you can make better decisions next time. And keeping the hope alive that you can have what it is that you're looking for. Granted, you're looking for things that actually make sense. But that's another video. The point is having an open heart to love men, even just being emotionally available to love on a man. So many women, especially, I hate to say it, but if you watch my last video about a gentle and quiet spirit, we talked about this. So many women are not able to even show a man love not able to compliment a man, not able to give a man his due props because we're hardened, because we're just like, I don't even know. But I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad when a woman is in the company of a man, married to a man, and cannot give him the love that he desperately desires. It's part of your feminine nature to do it. So you're actually working against yourself when you won't. But when you do, when you show up as a beautiful feminine woman, embracing your femininity, having feminine grace and love, and having a lighthearted, sparkly spirit, you will experience life differently. And if you're watching this thinking, this sounds nothing like me, it doesn't mean it can't be you. This is embedded in you. It's part of you. You may be a little bit more chill, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more mysterious. You may have a different personality than I have. Doesn't matter. You still can embody feminine grace in the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you sit, and the way that you stare, and the way that you just move, and just the basic things that you don't even think about. When you start actually thinking about those things and putting those things into perspective in terms of ladylike behavior, you will be able to start to cultivate feminine grace. And no matter what you're struggling with, no matter what you need, you always have help from God. God is the one who will start to show you the areas in your life that you might need to tweak a little bit. He'll start to tell you when you're sitting down, close your legs, close your legs. He'll start to talk to you as you surrender this part of your life to him and say, Lord, I want to be the feminine woman that you created me to be, but I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do, but I know I need it. Please help me. God will help you. And as long as you listen, you will see the changes in your life. So I'm excited for you. I'm so happy that you took the time to be here and to watch this video, and I hope that it helped you. Tell me in the comments, what are some ways that you practice feminine grace? What are some things that you really want to work on when it comes to your femininity? Is there something that you want me to do a video on specifically when it comes to feminine grace? But just know that these are things that once you start incorporating it into your life, especially if you work a corporate job, this is something you have to practice and practice and practice, because that world is a complete opposite of a world of feminine grace. And those behaviors sometimes, you lose them sometimes when you're only in certain settings. But you need to bring it back, because it's what brings you life. It's what opens the door for a beautiful masculine man to come into your life. And it just blossoms every single relationship that is in your life currently. I love you so, so much. And I thank you for your time and listening. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dr. Michelle Daff and at The Dr. Daff Show. And listen to my podcast, because I have so many more feminine conversations on the podcast at The Dr. Daff Show on all podcast streaming platforms. And if you love fragrance, if you love smelling so good, then visit my fragrance line, findforever.com, and purchase a beautiful feminine fragrance for yourself. I will see you next time. And remember that in all things you do, make a feminine impression. Bye-bye.